I'm Sue Francisco. Today we are going to learn how people did laundry back in the days of Tales of the Towpath. Now, Tales of the Towpath deals with the adventures of the men on the canal boat. But they left Mrs. Gorman at home. And Mrs. Gorman would have had to do her laundry this way. We're going to do laundry today. And there is a little science to doing laundry. And back in Mrs. Gorman's day, before she could even start doing laundry, she had to make soap. And you don't realize how much of a work that was. Today we can go to the store and we can buy soap right off the shelf. It wasn't that way in the 1850s, unless you were very wealthy. You might be able to buy soap from France or Europe that was very fancy. But out on the farm where Mrs. Gorman was, she had to use what she had. And what she had was all the ingredients that she needed to make soap. Now, the kind of soap you could make didn't look nice and white like this. It actually looked more like, this is kind of faded out, it actually looked like laundry soap that we have today. It would be any color between yellow and brown. It would not smell wonderful. And you used it to scrub the floor. You used it to do your laundry, and if you didn't have anything else, you had to use it to take a bath. So a little bit later, about 1870, somebody invented this. Ivory soap. You can still buy it today. Now there's a cool story about ivory soap. They say that when they were making soap in the factory, now you can buy soap that's made in the factory. When they were making soap in the factory, the story goes that they left the mixer on much too long, whipped up the soap. You had 3 or 4 times as much soap, but it had a lot of air molecules in the soap. So when you dropped ivory soap into the water, it didn't sink to the bottom of the water. Canal boatmen like this a lot because think about Finn and Colin, right? If they're getting up in the morning and fooling around while they're trying to wash their face and their soap goes overboard, if it's this kind of soap, old kind of soap, it's going to go to the bottom of the canal. You won't be able to get it. Ivory soap is nice and white, and it floats. And that is what they took advantage of. Ivory soap, the soap that floats. And even today, ivory soap will float because there's so much air whipped into it. So, canal boatmen really like this soap. So, how did Mrs. Gorman do her laundry? I'm going to use the ivory soap because, first of all, ivory soap is not made with animal fat, it's made with vegetable fat. It's going to be good on your skin. If you were here, I would let you use this and not the laundry soap because we don't want your hands to dry out too much. Neither do I. All right, so to wash a garment, I have a shirt here. First thing you do, you have to get the shirt wet. So I'm going to dunk it into the washboard. Get wet. And here is my washboard. This is like the agitator in your washing machine. This is how you scrub the dirt out of the clothing. Now, how am I going to get this bar soap to wash my shirt? I'm not going to take my shirt and rub it all over because I would waste all the soap and then I'd never get the soap out. It would be too much soap. I'd just waste it. So the secret of washing with a washboard is actually that you soak the washboard. You don't soak the clothing directly, you soak the washboard. Then you have a little place to put it. And my washboard's a little worn out, so I'm going to put it back here. But then usually you would put it right up here so you didn't waste the soap. Kept it dry. Then you take your shirt in this case, and you rub it up and down like this. All over. And you see how that gets the suds all the way through the shirt? See, just that little bit of soap is enough to do my job. And it lathers all up, and that's how you get the dirt out of the wash. Now, if this was a real mule driver's shirt, you know, it would be really sweaty around the neck and the sleeves, and actually it would be pretty dirty everywhere. So, another reason for that is that people wore their clothes all week. They didn't have a lot of changes of clothes. So some mule driver might have worn this shirt all week, and then when his mom got it, when he came home, he gave his mom the dirty laundry. She had this to do. Now, So then what you do, after you've scrubbed it, you're going to take it out of the wash water and you're going to rinse it. And now you want to get the soap out. So you spread the shirt out, make sure the soap is out of it, and then you have to wring it out. So to wring it out, you get it by the collar, you squeeze it all down and make a rope out of it, fold it in half, and if you're not strong enough to do it by yourself, you need a partner. One you can get on each end of the shirt and twist it like this. Now it was very important that you picked it up by the collar before you did this, because you're really treating the shirt very roughly here, and if you pick it up by the collar and make a rope out of it the way I showed you, you're not going to rip the shirt, even though you were very rough with it to get the water out. Now you come over to the clothesline, and you have clothespins to pin up your clothes. All right. Now we're going to turn our shirt upside down. All right. First we held it with the collar up. Now we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to spread it out like this. And you can see where the shirt has been sewn together, where the front has been sewn to the back. That's called the seam. And right there is where you want to put the clothespin. On that seam, and stretch it out. Find the other seam, and press the clothespin down the seam. This way, the wind, the air, will get up inside the sleeves of the shirt, and the whole shirt will dry. See how? This is a good day to wash. Now this was usually the girl's job, to do the wash, but that didn't mean the boys got the day off, because you see this water? Somebody hauled that water. This water is warm. Somebody made the fire to heat that water. And when Mom needed more hot water, son, I need more hot water. Come and empty my tub and bring me some more hot water. And he had to keep that fire going, and wash day was an all-day event. Can you imagine doing all the clothes we have today by this method? So that's it. It's not hard, but it was a long day of wash. You tried to choose a good day like this with sun and wind, and if you had to do the wash and it wasn't a good day or it was winter, you actually would hang the clotheslines in your home, probably in the kitchen over the stove. And that's how you did laundry back in the 1850s.